Hello everybody. We are here from the Typo 3 User Experience Week, and we will say hello and explain what Coders.Care is. We have Coders.Care, and Coders.Care is a project, and we start this project 1 year before at the Typo 3 camp in Venlo, and there are some interesting information that we tell you now about this thing.
The major problem that we have to solve in open source software projects is the free as in free speech, and it's mod as in free beer. Because actually the GPL is enforcing freedom, but not freeware, and this is what many people are misunderstanding. Still, the code is available for free, and you can do something with it for free, but people have expectations that everything is for free, and this is not doable for the developers and even for the agencies, so we need a solution for that. Because selling GPL open source software is almost impossible, because as soon as somebody gave it away for free, the code, you can give it to everybody else, so your business model is destroyed and you cannot sell anything anymore, so you need other solutions, and this is what we are going to present.
So reliability is a topic of Coders.Care. So Joy, tell me can you tell me about reliability from Coders.Care?
Yeah, actually reliability means you need to rely on the software that you're actually using, and developers need to rely on getting something back, because when they don't earn enough money with the software that they are creating, they cannot make a living anymore, and the people who are using the software actually, they cannot make sure that it will work in the future. They want to rely on something which is provided by people who take care of that. So this is what we are actually going to do. So extensions providing a certain function, for example, or it has to be working smoothly with different versions of the Typo 3 core, working together with other extensions, especially with maybe grid elements, which are we providing, or localization stuff that we always need in larger projects. So you have to make sure that everything works fine together, and you need security and quality audits like provided by the Typo 3 company, for example.
So it's very helpful for all people outside who are working with Typo 3. So one other thing is that Coders.Care covered is the topic sustainability. Joey, can you tell me more about this?
Yeah, of course. Sustainability means that you not just have to be something people can rely on, but it needs to be provided in the future too. So you need to be compatible with different Typo 3 versions, not just the one that is available now. You need to be compatible to PHP, MySQL versions upcoming in the future. You need to implement new state-of-the-art features. For example, we have now Doctrine in the Typo 3 core, and this should be available in extensions too. So this is a kind of joint effort with other extensions and the Typo 3 core, and we need to give an ear to the market as well, so that we actually listen to what people want and what they need, and not just provide what we think would be a fancy, cool new feature, but actually nobody uses it. So we want to listen to the market too.
That sounds very good, and I think there are a lot of people are interested in. Another topic of Coders.Care is the responsiveness. Joey, what can you say about this?
Yeah, actually, in this case, responsiveness is not what you actually expected it to be. It's not about responsive web design, because it's about the actual response that you get, for example, when you have a ticket and you need a ticketing system for bugs and features. You need a quick response and not tickets lying around for 2 years and still be new in the tracker. You need competent acquisition of accident data, so that actually there is somebody who understands how the system should be working and how it could be working and what went wrong. And you need to translate between the actual client using the system and the developer, because they speak completely different languages. So we need to make sure that there's somebody who is actually available for both developers and customers, and to make sure to have a short reaction time and high availability, if necessary, 24/7.
So it's easier for customers and for developers to work and to communicate, and everybody will have fun at the end because they understand each other.
Yeah. So no stuff like, hey, there is a bug in my system. Okay, read the fucking manual. This is something that happens in the open source community quite often, so we have to communicate in a better manner, and this is what we want to make sure.
What are the benefits for the developers to come to Coders.Care? So we have some interesting things for the developers.
Yeah, of course. As we already mentioned before, with the free as in free speech, the problem is you cannot sell the code because in most of the cases it's already available for free, which is a good thing. But you need to make a living somehow. So you get a return on your investment because your investment is the code, and you get something back, which now is something which is paid as a real service. So you have to sell something around the code that you actually produced. And you can focus on development. You don't have to take care of legal stuff. Fiscal knowledge is not necessary because you can focus on the stuff you actually want to do. You don't have to deal with a bureaucracy, and you need less time for communication because I know a lot of developers who actually don't want to communicate with clients. They are very happy when they just can stick to their notebook and code. And sometimes they're just too small as a one-man or one-woman show because they don't have the time to do all that stuff that is necessary to have contracts, to be on the legal safe side and stuff like that. So this is something that we will be providing for developers so they can focus on their actual work.
So they spare a lot of time because they don't need to speak to the customers and to explain it from the basics. And on the other hand, they get money for the work because they solve the problems, and the customer are happy because the solution comes very early or directly.
Yeah, and this solves the problem with the missing budgets of the Type 3 association too, because in the past we had budgets that we provided, for example, for important extensions like news. For grid elements we had a budget as well, but these are not available anymore. So we need to make sure that at least the most important and hot extensions of the top 20 of the TR are still available and usable and give back something to the developers.
So it is possible for the developers and for all the team there is behind to react immediately when you have some problems, bugs or something else with your extension, and you know how in which short time you get the reaction, and you know sure that we will solve your problem.
And you
That's new.
And you get a team as a backup,
Yeah.
so you can actually go for vacation and have the others do the job when you're not there, so you don't have to take care of that anymore.
So during the last year, when we talk about Coders.Care, we have a lot of questions about, and what's about the agencies? Could it be a problem because we will do the work for the agencies? No, we help the agencies. That's very nice.
Yeah, actually,
for everybody.
we do the work for the agencies, but not the work of the agencies. This is the actual difference, and this is what some of the people who attended our presentations at the different camps didn't get. So they expected us to be a kind of competitor, doing all the work that they actually get the money for, but what we want to do is we want to focus on project management when we are in agency business. We need to make a living from projects, not from fixing bugs of extensions that we actually just want to use. Sometimes we have less development knowledge because in agencies there are designers, project managers, and other people, so the average development knowledge in agencies is less than the specific knowledge of the extension maintainer himself or herself.
And it needs less working time for solve a problem, a bug or feature or change request when the extension maintainer will do this work and not a developer from an agency, because the extension maintainer knows from the basic how the extension is built on, and so it spares a lot of time, and it's helpful so for everyone.
Yeah. Because in most of the cases, the extension maintainers are not working in the same agency as the project is done, that is done there. And of course, the people who actually build the stuff know best where the bug might be and what might be fixed. And maybe it's already fixed and you just don't know about it. So it's hard to control all the extensions in use because sometimes there are about 50 or 60 extensions in different projects. Okay, you can question if this is a good thing to do it like this, but people are doing it and they need help with that so that they can focus on the actual project work. They are in a catch-22 situation between developers and clients. We have this communication thingy. You have the one thing, on the one side you have the clients complaining about the bugs. The agency actually does not know about the bug because they just wanted to provide something working. And on the other side there's the developer who actually knows it is not a bug but something done wrong by the client. and you have to communicate between them, and this is sometimes hard to do. So we can take over that job.
Okay, and now please a warm welcome to our developer, Gernot Mask-Pleuner. Hello, Gernot. Nice to meet you. Nice that you are here. I'm very proud that you are part of the Coders.Care project. And now I'm very interested in why you think it is a good idea as a developer to come to Coders.Care. What do you think?
That's easy. A developer wants to produce code and don't take care about organization stuff or get disturbed by phone calls. And Coders.Care can do this for the developers, and they have more time to code. That's it.
So actually, when you are here in your position as a CEO of an agency as well, you're not just a developer, but a CEO too. What are the benefits for the agencies from your point of view?
An agency does not know all third-party extensions, what are in use, and it wouldn't be a good idea to fix bugs themselves because they're the authors of the extensions, and that spare a lot of time for agencies.
Yeah. So it spares a lot of time for you too, because then you don't, for example, you don't have to care about the localization manager, because the localization manager is handled by Coders.Care, and you can just be sure to use it in your extension projects and use it for your clients.
Yes, that's great. That's a good service.
Yeah.
So great to hear this information from you. So thank you, Gernot. Thank you very much for this.
Goodbye.
And maybe when we have some more questions, we will pick up you and bring up on the stage again. Thank you, Gernot. So the next topic is Coders.Care is very helpful for you, for the customers.
And this time it's not about customers of the agencies, because agencies are dealing with their own customers, and we don't take away the customers of the agencies, but there are customers like larger companies who actually don't work with agencies, but have IT departments and development departments on their own, and they still rely on continuity in the extension development, especially because larger companies tend to have long-term supports and even extended long-term support, sometimes extended long-term support. So we need to help them for a very long time frame, and this is something we will do with Coders.Care too. We will have sustainable solutions, reliable solutions for them as for the agencies and the developers. But they can focus on the actual functions and content editing work, because this is what they want to do. They want to provide content to their websites or to other projects they do with Typo 3. And they have usually no or less development knowledge and project management knowledge, so they need to deal with this on a completely different level. And of course, they cannot control all the extensions they have in use too. So, and as we already mentioned, it's hard to communicate with developers sometimes, so this is something we can solve for these clients.
Now we have been talking a lot of time about the problems of the developers, the customers, and the agencies. But I think we have a solution, did we?
Yeah, actually Coders.Care is just a label, so now you need to know what this project is about. We will provide service level agreements for Typo 3 extensions. But for Typo 3 extensions only, because actually people said, yeah, service level agreements, it's already there, because the Typo 3 company is providing these, but just for the core. So we step in and say, okay, we take over the job to do that for Typo 3 extensions. And we consider developers, agencies, as well as customers and users. We provide 5 different levels of service. Actually, these are just example services that you can find on our website. So you can see, okay, this is a very low level where you just have small extensions and less extension reaction time. There are maybe larger levels where you pay a larger amount per month. From small company to enterprise, everything is possible. And we have hourly rates for services which are not included in the monthly rates, which are determined by the level. So the higher the level is and the more you pay per month, the lower will be the hourly rates for the other services. And we have non-priority bug fixing free of charge.
Okay.
So actually it's the same as the service level agreements provided by the Typo 3 company. There is priority fixing free of charge in higher levels, because when you pay a lot per month, you expect to be serviced on a high priority. And it's available for public and this is a difference to the Typo 3 company, for internal extensions as well. So the extensions don't have to be publicly available in the TR, but still we have to check them first. And then we have to make sure that everything is fine and everything is according to the coding guidelines and there are no security holes. And after that, we can even put them into such a service level agreement. But it might be a little higher price because we actually want the people to publish their extensions in the TR or in Packagist.
So now our goal is with Coders.Care.
We want to bring everyone to the same table. Yes. So it's not about just having contracts with the developers or the agencies, but with the customers as well. And we want to help everybody to focus on their own stuff and to not having to deal with stuff they actually don't want to do. Fixing bugs, creating new features, providing reliable services for everybody who signs the contract, be it a developer or agency or a customer, supporting partners with a skilled team, which Gernot is actually a part of already with Mask as an extension. In the end, it's about creating mutual trust for Typo 3, for Typo 3 as a whole, as a project, as a product that you are using as a solution for your websites, your intranet, or whatever you are creating with Typo 3. So we make sure that the things that you rely on will be available, bug-free, and with new features, even 10 years in the future. But there are things that we won't do, and this is something that we want to make sure, because this is very important for agencies especially.
Very important thing. We don't do the projects for the agencies, the full projects.
We could help them, of course, but we don't take over projects from agencies. So we don't want to be a competitor. We want to help you. We don't conceptual design and integrate your jobs, because this is none of our business. We are dealing with code of extensions, security holes, fixing bugs, providing new features that you need. We don't do full service agency projects.
We didn't development other than Typo 3 extensions?
For example, the core work, because this is already available with the Typo 3 GmbH SLAs. And we don't kickstart new extensions, because actually this is the job of the extension maintainers. And if you have something new and you want to provide it with the project of Coders.Care, you can still join us when you have something interesting, new features, new extensions which are promising. Feel free to join us.
Yeah, contact us.
But there's something more that we can provide. And this is due to the fact that the team of the skilled developers we actually have, when they all join because of their extensions, we will provide a rescue service. And this is something that is awesome when you are in a situation, for example, deadline is close, all the developers that you actually hired are already gone because you took too long to reach the deadline and they have to do something else. Or we had even worse cases where people just had a heart attack and were completely missing, and this was the developer in the project. So we provide a rescue service to help you when you are in very bad situations and you need immediate help, and it's even there for non-SLA clients. So you don't need an SLA to get the rescue service. But of course, you could have the SLA in addition.
And now you know who to call, and you know there are quality, high standard developers in the background, and he helps you.
Yeah, actually this is something that is quite new for open source projects, because usually when there's an open source project, there's no hotline that you can call and ask for help and say, hey, I have a problem, what might be a solution? So we will provide a hotline for the SLA clients, and we will have a special hotline for the rescue service.
Yeah.
So when you want to contact us,
please feel free to contact us.
Yeah, it's not a hotline for the special services, but there's a website available. We are on Twitter, on Facebook, and you can contact us. When you just go to the website, there are different additional information, just giving you more details about the services that we are going to provide. And I hope more developers like Gernot will join us. And I hope we will be able to provide the services that you actually need.
And if you have any more questions, we are on some Typo 3 events, camps, and so on. Feel free to contact us, talk to us, and
see you next time.
See you next time.
Ciao.